to get out of that, and they'll still try to sue me. I am guaranteeing that I'm going to pay them $77,883.75. Okay, that is a personal guarantee. Okay. All right, guys. So I am on my way right now to see a property that I'm very interested in leasing for the Lash Brow Spa that I've been talking to you guys about. And like I said, let's see it. So they recently decided to take the floor out, right? I think they were trying to get another gym in here.
No, this was Matt's. So when it was a martial arts studio.
I really do appreciate you taking your time.
Thank you. And then yeah, I'll send that over to you.
All right, so you just saw the property with me. It was real brief. We had a lot of conversation about different things, but one of the main things, she's going to send me what they call an LOI, which is a letter of intent, because I told her that I am very interested in that property. And so once I get the letter of intent, I'm going to go through it completely with you as I understand it. And of course, with any type of thing or proposal that anybody sends you, you always have to read through it, make sure that there's no verbiage that sounds a little loose, right? And then I'm going to resubmit it with any changes that I believe I want changed, and I'll submit that. But I will walk you through how I found the property and the LOI and how the numbers are broken down. Okay, so stay tuned, keep going, because this information is very important. You really don't get to change that. Oh, okay, so the letter of intent. Okay, so she sent me an email, and this is after we talked. So we talked about a few things. We talked about what I was required to take care of, what the square footage price is, what the landlord is able to provide as far as build time, a whole bunch of stuff. And so that I'm just going to break it down because it sounds like a lot, but after you kind of look at it quickly, it's not that bad. Okay, so this is the letter of intent. So pretty much it says this letter summarizes the Dallas Retail Center, whatever, what we talked about, right? So this is what she's going to provide to the landlord, because this is what we talked about. This is what we agreed. I signed it. We have a mutual agreement, but it's not binding, pretty much, right? So binding meaning that it's not something that's set in stone and this is what it's going to be just because we did this, right? This is not the lease. Okay, so here it tells me what the square footage is, right? The suite, my name and stuff. And then what is it permitted for? So it's for a permanent makeup lash bar with added spa services. So the term was 3 to 5 years, but we discussed that I wanted to do 3 years. So it says one term, right, of the 3 years. Pretty much just saying 6 months in advance notice before the expiration of the option, I guess, to continue is what I'm thinking. Security deposit. So at the time of the lease is executed, tenant will deposit the landlord and equal to last month's rent. So last month's rent here is stated as $2,719.50. Okay, this last month's security deposit is going to be bigger than the first month's security deposit, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. But this is the advance rent here. Okay, so the advance rent, which is first month's rent, is $2,592.19. Okay, so that's the first month's rent. So you see that there's a discrepancy, a difference. Okay, and then it says the base rent scheduling. Okay, whatever. And charges. Okay, this is what they call a CAM, which is a common area maintenance, right? That's what I think CAM means. I could be wrong, but that's my idea. But anyway, net charges pretty much just means that you are responsible for everything in the unit. So if the electrical goes wrong, that's on you. If the HVAC goes wrong, that's on you. If plumbing, leak, flood, on you, right? If it happens to your unit, you're responsible for it. Okay. But they are also, there is a charge that they call CAM, which is right here, of $3.75 per square foot, which they use to maintain the grounds, which is like the parking lot, making sure it's clean, making sure everything looks good on the outside. They also pay for water. So water is also in the CAM. Okay, so here you see in red, I wrote, please provide a ceiling cap. I don't like words like estimated, right? Because I feel like it's too much of a surprise. I don't know if they one day will decide, hey, it's now $9 per square foot. So I asked for some kind of a cap. I don't know if the landlord is going to do it, but hopefully he does. Okay. Then we have a rent commencement date. So this is wrong. I know, typo, but I wrote that originally she said 2 months. I asked for 3 months. That's why the 60-day. And that just means that it gives me 3 months to build out. So that's to fix it the way I want it to be fixed. Also to get all the paperwork involved in getting it to be a legitimate business. So that's like the certificate of occupancy. If I'm going to make it a spa, then I have to go to the state board. I have the Department of Health because I have permanent makeup, all that stuff within that time frame so that I can launch. Okay, so I did request 90 days as opposed to 60 days. So rent. So remember what I told you about the last month's rent and the first month rent and why there's a difference? And the difference is because of this 3% yearly escalation. Okay, so it's $16 per square foot with a 3% escalation. So let's first talk about the first year and what you're going to pay. Okay, so the first year, if I take out my calendar, okay, so the square footage is 1,500-ish, right? But we're going to say the exact numbers in a second. But first, let's just put the CAM and the rent together, okay? Because we're going to be paying those anyway together. So it'd be $16 plus, right, that $3.75. So plus $3.75. So that gives you $19.75 per square foot. So per square foot, how many square feet are in this unit? It's 1,575. Okay, so I'm going to multiply that by 1,575. That's the square footage. So in 1 year, I will have to have paid the landlord $31,106.25. Okay, but right, we want to know what is it going to be per month. So I have to divide that by 12. I divide that by 12, so that gives you the first month's rent. Okay. Now, the first month's rent will be $2,592.19. Okay, that's going to be for 12 months. After the 12 months, it is going to increase by 3%. So that means that now my $16 plus my $3.75, which gives me $19.75, is now going to be multiplied by 3%. How do you do that? By making it 0.03, which is 3%. So that means that it's going to increase 59 cents. Okay? So because of that, that's the increase. They might also, and this is the part that I don't know if the CAM is included in that increase. I believe that it is because it only makes sense. Here's what she wrote. So yeah, okay, so this number is correct. And so it does include the CAM. So I am correct with that. Okay, so it is going to include the CAM at a 3% escalation as well. And so that's why this number is here, right? Because this is the CAM. This is the CAM increasing by 3%. So the same thing that I just did, you're just going to do the CAM with the 0.003, okay? And let's go back to what I sent her, because the one that I sent her has what I decided to change. And I kind of want you to see that because it's important for you to decide to make changes if you need to. You should not just go with anything that they say just because they say it, because at the end of the day, She is the real estate agent for the landlord. Okay. And I'm still debating about getting a lawyer after, once I get the lease, so that the lawyer can read it. Because again, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know. But this is just like the basics. It's just a proposal. So the 90 days I talked about, the escalation I talked about. So this part here I also changed. So in the original, it said as is. So that just means that the way it looks right now is what it is. And I didn't feel comfortable about that. I have a real estate background. I'm actually a real estate agent before I did all this. And so I sold like 3 houses before I stopped. Real estate just wasn't for me, but I do know how this kind of paperwork stuff works. So here it said as is, and I didn't like that. So I added that I want the landlord, if I'm going to have to take care of the HVAC, the electricity, and the plumbing or whatever, I want the landlord to provide me documentation that at its current state that it is maintained and that it's in good standing and it has been maintained like it's regular maintenance. I know with HVAC, they say that you should get maintenance on it every year to make sure that it's still running correctly. HVACs are expensive, and HVAC is an AC unit. Okay, they're very expensive, and I want a professional to do it. I don't want him writing it, right? And one of the things I wanted, they have concrete floor under it, and I really like it, but it has glue because it used to be a karate place. So I asked if they can bring the unit back to its original condition. So there's signage on the windows that I want removed, and I want the floors to be just bare concrete. So let's see if they'll do that. Personal guarantees. So personal guarantees. So this is extremely important. I had somebody that I know that didn't realize when they had leased a unit that they had signed a personal guarantee. And this is a big problem because this is why it's important to understand that when you work for somebody, let's say you are working for somebody, they're taking the risk. If everything goes wrong and their business fails, they can't just leave and say, oh, 1 year in, peace out, I'm done. No, they signed a personal guarantee saying that they're personally meaning outside of their business, their person. So me, Grisel Reyes, me, not my business, me. I am responsible for paying. And I am saying that the 3-year commitment that I'm going to pay them for that full price, right? So let's break that down, okay? So if each year is, let's go back to the original because, go back. There it is. Okay, so you see here, right? This is the annual that they have written down, which is just the rent. It's not including the CAM. But so for each year, personally guaranteed. I'm pretty sure that the personal guarantee, but I could be wrong. You let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. The personal guarantee does not include the CAM just because it's for maintenance. But if you're not maintaining it, I don't see why I would have to pay it. But so this is for the rent. So if I add these 3 years together, so I have to, okay, let me put it together. Plus 9.6 plus 27.75. So that means that I am personally guaranteeing that I am going to pay them, right? Again, not my business. I can't claim bankruptcy on my business and say, oh, I claim bankruptcy, so I don't have to pay you. No, it's on my personal. I would have to personally claim bankruptcy to even try to get out of that, and they'll still try to sue me. I am guaranteeing that I'm going to pay them $77,883.75. Okay, that is a personal guarantee. Okay, so that's why they say it's a risk. This is a big risk. I have to be okay with the understanding that I might lose all that money, right? And that's why people try to make it seem like it's so easy. Oh, you could just get your own place, hire people. But if you don't have the capital, right? I'm 35, so I've lived a little longer than some people that might be a little younger and saying, oh, I'm going to do it, right? And I've also have a background in real estate. I've been teaching for years. I have my master's. So I've been around the world a little bit, and I've taken everything that I've learned to finally feel a little bit more comfortable in pursuing this venture. But even that, like,
there's that risk that it's not going to work, and I still don't know everything. But it's definitely something that you really have to think about before you do it, because of that amount, because of the personal guarantee. And the person that I knew, she no longer wanted to do the business, and she thought that she can just get out, and she had a year and a half left, but she still owed $48,000, so she couldn't get out. And so now she's still running the business, really just not making any money, actually losing money, just to kind of go by and finish it off until the lease is up. Okay, and then, so I talked about the personal guarantee. Yeah, so those are the main, I think those are the main parts of this, right? Personal guarantee, la 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 la. Yeah, okay. And then they have 10 days. So when those 10 days are up and they respond to me, I'll let you know what they say, and I'll let you know. But I did say that I was going to show you how I found the place. So I use this website called net.com. Okay. And then because I'm doing this Loom screen recording, it's being weird. So let's just pick this place, maybe? Let's do this place. Okay. So, oh, perfect. So here, you see the space. This is the space. This is the address, whatever. 100 square feet. It says a 1 to 5 years term. Gives you the square footage per year. The cool thing here is that you actually could change it. And so it gives you per year. So let's say for the first year, you'd be paying, why is it not changing? First year? Oh, square footage per year, duh. The amount for the year, right? It's 13,000 for the first year, be 13,000. Let's say amount per month. So this is what you pay on a monthly basis. Will be at 1,100. This is actually not a bad. You see, I don't like the way, I don't like the location. Okay, that's actually a good one. I think about this one. But where is this? I don't recall this place, but it's not in the area I like. So you got to think about the area that you're in. Okay. And then, yeah, it says all this information. And this person doesn't have a brochure, but some places have a brochure and it breaks down all the different demographics. So, but it's very important that you check the demographics of your area. I already have clients in this area. Literally, the place that I'm picking is like 5 minutes at most from the place that I'm already studioed in. So I already have clients, and my clients will just transition there. And so since I already know the area, being close to the area works out for me. But if you're like new to the area, you really need to know what demographics. So demographics meaning like ethnicity that's in the area, right? If you're, for example, I don't know, like you do hair weaving and you know that predominantly your clientele is African American, you're not going to put your business in an area that's predominantly, I don't know, Hispanic or something, right? Like you need to find where your people are. If you're going to an area where it's high end, affluent, but you don't provide an affluent service, right? Your service is pretty low, or vice versa, right? Like you have something that's very expensive and then you go to an area that's low income, it's not going to work out for you, right? You want people from the area. Yes, people will travel 30 minutes to you, just about. Probably that's like the max. But if it's too far or the place doesn't fit the vibe of the people that you have coming or the age group, they're not going to come. So it's very important that you check all those things. Place I picked, of course, I already know the area. So it works out for me and I like it because of where it is. And I like that it's open. But like I said, follow me in this journey because I am here to completely show you everything so that you can learn as I learn. And I will show you as I go through the whole thing little by little, every little piece. Okay. So thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell button so that you can continue to follow me as I go through this. Because you ain't gonna find it nowhere else. I'm just messing with you.